Welcome back to Wild Mysteries Explained, the place where the wild hide secrets that science can't quite solve. The world's folklore is filled with mythical creatures beings that blur the line between reality and legend. But among them is the fascinating yet lesser-known Buru, a cryptic aquatic animal from the oral history of the Apatani people in northeastern India. The story of the Buru isn't just a monster tale. It's a story of early societies battling nature, transforming landscapes, and symbolically conquering their deepest fears. So let's dive into the history, legend, and cultural significance of the Buru, pieced together from oral tradition and anthropological accounts. In the lush highlands of what is now Arunachal Pradesh, nestled in the remote Ziro Valley, live the Apatani people. Their traditional lore says that long before they settled the valley, the area was a vast, misty marshland. And in this marsh, the elders say, lived formidable creatures. They were crocodile-like beings that roamed the waters with a primal ferocity. They called them Burus. The legend paints them as aquatic cryptid creatures that were neither fully fish nor reptile, but something in between. They were fearsome, elusive, and a deep part of the region's primal environment. According to the Apatani Foundation myth, these creatures were a major threat to the early settlers. The marsh wasn't just a geographical barrier. It was a barrier to safety, survival, and prosperity. The Apatani ancestors, searching for fertile land to escape their nomadic life, were determined to make the Ziro Valley their home. But the Buru stood in their way. These creatures were seen as dangerous guardians of the waterlogged land, symbols of the wilderness that had to be tamed before the valley could be cultivated. As the Apatani migrated into the valley, they frequently encountered the Burus while trying to transform the landscape. The stories are filled with confrontations and narrow escapes clashes between human ingenuity and the raw power of nature embodied by these creatures. Realizing that the key to getting rid of the Burus was to change the environment itself, the Apatani came up with a bold plan. Instead of fighting the creatures head-on, they decided to reclaim the land. They would turn the swamp into farmable fields. This was a monumental task that required unity, endurance, and clever strategy. They dug channels, built earthen embankments, and diverted the water. Slowly but surely, the marsh receded, giving way to the fertile paddy fields that would become the backbone of Apatani agriculture. As the environment changed, the habitat of the Burus vanished. Many of the creatures died as the waters dried up, while others were said to have retreated into hidden springs and underground channels that still flow beneath the valley floor. This marked a new chapter for the Apatani people. They went from nomadic wanderers to a settled agricultural community. The swamp that once terrified them became a source of life, and the Burus were symbolically defeated by human determination. While the Buru legend comes from oral tradition, it caught the attention of Western researchers in the mid-20th century. Anthropologist James Philip Mills and British officer Charles Stoner visited the region and documented local stories about the creature. Their interviews with Apatani elders confirmed the narrative of the swamp, the creatures, and the valley's transformation. However, by the time they did their research in the 1940s, the creatures had reportedly already vanished. Another researcher, Professor Christopher von Führer-Heimendorf, also recorded the legend in the late 1940s, adding academic weight to the oral traditions. According to his accounts, the Buru was already a thing of the past by then, a legendary creature, not a living threat. But even though the main story places the Buru in the distant past, some local tales suggest there were sporadic sightings long after they were supposed to be gone. One story tells of a young woman who encountered a Buru emerging from an underground spring one night while she was drawing water. Terrified, she told her father, and soon the whole village gathered to fill the spring with stones and clay, hoping to stop any more from appearing. Whether these stories are embellished or based on real events, they add a deep emotional layer to the legend, reflecting the people's ongoing conversation with their environment and their ancestral past. Beyond the literal story, the legend of the Buru carries a deeper symbolic meaning. For the Apatani people, these creatures represent more than just dangerous animals. They are symbols of the untamed forces of nature forces that early humans had to confront and overcome to build stable communities. The act of draining the marsh mirrors humanity's broader struggle to adapt and thrive. The Burus, in this sense, are metaphors for the obstacles everyone faces when stepping into the unknown. Some modern interpretations even see the Buru legend as an allegory for environmental change, highlighting the delicate balance between nature and human intervention. While the Apatani successfully transformed their land, the legend serves as a reminder to future generations that such power must be used with respect. Over the years, the Buru has also attracted interest from cryptozoologists, those who study creatures whose existence is unsupported by mainstream science. Some fringe accounts describe the Buru as a large reptilian cryptid, like a crocodile or monitor lizard, but with unusual features. There are even descriptions from outside Apatani lore that say the creature had multiple rows of spines and a fearsome appearance in the water, a much more fantastical portrayal. Despite these embellishments, there is no scientific evidence that a unique species like the legendary Buru ever existed. For scientists and scholars, the Buru remains firmly in the realm of folklore, not zoology. Today, the Buru lives on through storytelling, cultural memory, and anthropological records. It's one of the many legendary creatures of India's northeastern regions, preserving the heritage and worldview of the people who first told its tale. In the Ziro Valley, the Buru remains a symbol of a time when myth, nature, and survival were all intertwined. Its story is a tribute to the power of folklore in shaping cultural identity and collective memory. So, in the end, the tale of the Buru isn't just about a mythical creature. It's a rich tapestry woven from history, ecology, culture, and imagination. Through this legend, we get a glimpse into the early experiences of the Apatani people, the challenges they faced, the power of adaptation, and the creative ways societies make sense of the world around them. While modern science might dismiss such creatures as mere legend, their enduring presence reminds us that stories aren't just fantasies, they are reflections of human experience, belief, and our timeless fascination with the unseen. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the mysterious Ziro Valley. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more wild mysteries explained. See you next time.